Need to get stronger.
Anthony Joshua has begun his training camp in preparation for his upcoming showdown against Jake Paul. Tyson Fury replied to Jake Paul's call-out, saying he sees the matchup as a 50-50 fight in which either man could prevail.
The Joshua fight not happening?
No, I don't. I don't regret anything. Life's too short for regrets.
What do you think of Jake Paul calling him out?
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a real 50-50 fight.
Jose Benveda said people shouldn't dismiss Jake Paul because the matchup carries danger for him and could potentially lead to an unexpected outcome. He also noted that Anthony Joshua is performing at a stronger level right now and holds a definite size advantage over Paul.
Don't count him out. You know, I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, you know, we could have a big upset, you know. But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Do you think it's competitive? A lot of people are saying if AJ doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, it'll be a huge embarrassment.
I don't think that's not the case, that he's gonna get Jake Paul. At the end of the day, Jake Paul has been training hard too, and you know, he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he would take him out in 2-3 rounds. I think maybe in the later rounds, or it might go to decision, you know, but I don't think that Jake Paul can take AJ out. I mean, or AJ could take Jake Paul. Maybe, you know, but I don't know. It's just going to be an exciting fight. I think I want to see that fight, to be honest with you.
David Hay said he respects Jake Paul for entering genuine danger, noting that boxing can be unforgiving and lead to severe injury or worse. He added that Paul took this risk on a stage because he trusts himself, not money.
I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar. And I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to. It's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you got to give him credit.
White said Jake Paul facing Anthony Joshua is a terrible concept, yet it would attract massive viewership. He noted that many would tune in out of curiosity, including himself, and fans would finally witness the conclusion they've been anticipating.
Jake Paul Joshua.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
Fury said, if he managed to beat Jake Paul, it should be obvious what Anthony Joshua would do. He recalled his father joking that Joshua could handle Paul easily and agreed, adding that even with an injured arm, Joshua would finish it quickly.
If I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on, like you can't be serious. He can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So it's just ludicrous.
Tony Bello said he won't trust any talk about the fight until he actually sees Jake Paul step into the ring. He added that even a press event together wouldn't convince him, as he can't imagine Paul wearing 10-ounce gloves against Anthony Joshua.
I don't believe it. I don't believe a single thing until I see him in the ring. I don't believe any. Even if they come together for a press, I don't believe it. I don't genuinely believe he will climb into a boxing ring with 10-ounce gloves on with Anthony Joshua. It won't happen. It can't.
Hypothetically, if it does, how long does it last?
As long as Josh wants it to. Simple as that. As long as he wants it to. The same way it did with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. The same way it did with Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou.
Frank Warren said Jake Paul has faced significant criticism for lacking an amateur background and having only around 10 to 12 professional fights. He added that many doubted when Paul would face a legitimate opponent. And now that he has handled it impressively.
Well, my thoughts on it is that Jake Paul's had a lot of accusations over the years for a guy who's had no amateur fights. What's he had, about 10 or 12
Fights, yeah.
fights? I'm not sure what he's had. And, you know, you look at the opposition he's had and people saying, when's he going to fight somebody? He stepped up. He's stepping up to a two-time world champion, a genuine heavyweight, a proper heavyweight champion, and an active fighter. And this is a big moment for him. And you got to take your hat off to him for that. As regarding AJ, I'm sure AJ's wants a fight back after that, that unbelievable loss he had against Daniel Dubois. That was quite an emphatic loss. He wants to come back, get himself, dip his toe in the water. He's going to get paid a lot of money for this. This fight's going to generate a lot of money because for me, it's a fighter. Jake Paul's going to be a massive underdog against a big favourite, a big odds-on favourite. Can he do it or not? This is a car crash. And people will watch it because that's what people do at car crashes. And that's what this.
Dan Rafael shared his astonishment that Jake Paul would accept the fight. He highlighted the danger involved due to Joshua's strength and achievements, noting that many within the boxing community view it as an extremely hazardous challenge for Paul to take on.
I'm going to say it for you. Okay?
Done. No,
if
please,
Jake
done.
Paul
No.
beats Anthony Joshua by a knockout, this is a million times better than what I always have thought was a very ill-conceived event with Tank Davis. So whatever you think about Jake and some of the types of fights that he has made, you got to give him credit for at least everybody has said for a long time now, fight a real fighter, fight a real boxer. Well, Anthony Joshua was absolutely a real boxer, a real fighter. You can't deny that. Like you said, two-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist. Now, he may not be at what he was when he was absolute peak. There's no doubt that Anthony Joshua was beyond his apex of his career. Mm-hmm. But even though he'll be coming off of about a 14-month layoff.
Yeah.
He was coming off having had surgery on his elbow. He's coming off of a very, very, very difficult, brutal, hard knockout loss in the Dubois fight. But all that said, I still think he's got enough to compete with any heavyweight in the world. For my perspective is, whatever you think about it, Jake Paul certainly has gotten better since he fought Tommy Fury. He's certainly gotten better over the last number of fights. Now, is he at an elite, world-class level? Probably not yet. He may never get to that level, but so you got to give him props. He's taken on a guy that I spend part of my morning talking to different boxing matchmakers, people I've known for decades in this business, who have vast experience of building fighters and moving fighters and developing them, and they know a lot better than you or me what they're looking at. And to a person, they were like, they don't understand why Jake took this fight because they think it's, one person used the word of decapitation.
Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on the potential Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul matchup. He mentioned that Jake seems eager for the fight and reportedly agreed to a deal where Joshua would receive 99% of the purse, leaving Paul with only 1%.
And right now about doing Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul.
I know, I saw that.
Jake Paul apparently wants that fight. And he agreed to, I think it was 99% to 1, where Joshua gets 99% of the money and he gets 1%.
Jake Paul probably doesn't care about the money,
well,
but
he has plenty of money. And if he won, oh my God, if he beat Anthony Joshua, good Lord. Good Lord. I mean, that's a big if, right? Anthony Joshua,
I do not
Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world. What he did to Francis Ngannou, good Lord.
Yes.
Do you want that smoke?
Yeah, I just think it's all about the promotion or whatever. That fight's not competitive at all.
Well, it's a dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to put an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
I mean, Anthony Joshua's one of the biggest one-punch KO artists ever.
Yeah.